help you see the light.
An even better reason to do Talking Shop, because I have to start this thing off properly. And it's Talking Shop's not starting right unless the big LG is pissed off.
Highly.
Hey, good morning. Hallelujah. Welcome to Talking Shop. You got the big LG, you got the machine gun. And guys, we heard this from one of our CEOs through around all of independent wrestling. We are ubiquitous. Ubiquitous. I never know if that.
I don't really know if that's right or not, but
I know that it's right. I never know if I'm actually pronouncing it right, but let's be honest. The boys are absolutely everywhere. We've got our Roku deal. We've got our Triller Plus deal, which you're going to see this one live on Triller Plus.
Yeah, we don't have Balls Deep Billy.
Yeah, except for Balls Deep Billy. He's sleeping.
He's a little tired this morning.
You see us all over, of course. You can see us on Spotify. You can see us on Apple Podcasts. You can see us on all podcast platforms. I'm the Machine Gun. He's the Big LG. We are the world famous Good Brothers, which I've noticed now that is my go-to line in promos. And I just asked to do that to start us off every promo. And we had a hell of a weekend last weekend. We were on the road. It felt like we were actually on the road again as I landed in Atlanta. Gallows' driver, Easy E, picked me up at the airport. We drove the hour to Gallows' mansion in the woods in Georgia. We had an awesome night. We slept. We wake up. We've got a 2-hour drive to Americus, Georgia.
Brand new town, baby.
Brand new town. I mean, do you want, and I'll go back to this, so don't let me forget about Americus. We go to Americus, we do our Roku taping, we do our Triller TV taping, we tape all of our backstage stuff for YouTube, we get all of our shit. Balls Deep Billy, Emilio, made the flight, his first flight in 3 years from New York. He landed in Atlanta. Easy E picked us up to your house. We go to Americus.
The great Wes, who's been documenting us. He showed up. He came in from Kentucky. So we had Balls Deep Billy. We had Wes. We had a house full of wrestlers.
yeah. The great Wes. Wes Brown, is that his last name? Are we talking last name?
Yeah, let's leave his last name out.
Does he have legal?
His name's Wes Wesley.
Does he have legal?
Wes Westerson.
Yeah. Let's leave his.
Wiley Wes Wesley was here.
Let's leave his last name out of this.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, he drives in from I don't even know. He's one of my good friends. I don't even know where he lives.
He's out of Kentucky.
Oh, there, nice.
Kentucky to Georgia. He had a 6.5-hour drive.
Well, I'm glad we learned that.
Here we had. Oh my goodness, we had podcast standout. I don't know if standout's a good term. We had a guy who's been on the podcast, Reggie Collins. He made a 12-hour drive so that he could appear on the television taping and do the double shot weekend. We did Americus, Georgia on the Friday night. We were in Dublin, Georgia on the Saturday night for the ill-fated hardcore show. There was a lot that went on there. We got a ton of great footage. We had our friends from STGN 49 in the house. We were filming for them. We were filming for Triller Plus, Triller TV. So here we sit on Wednesday morning coming out of that weekend, and we got to knock this out. There's a lot in the news, but we are back on an airplane early tomorrow morning. We'll be at Outlaw Pro Wrestling in Brooklyn, New York, at Our Lady of Mount Carmel. We have a big 6-man tag. Our buddy Bull James will be there. Bear Bronson, just off AEW TV, is in the match with us. A lot of great people are going to be there. Then Friday, K&S WrestleFest around 12 p.m. We are doing a virtual signing. They have all kinds of cool stuff there. Then you're going home for family stuff with the boys. I am going home as well. Friday night, then Saturday, I'll be in Dalton, Georgia at the Flip Trade Show. Saturday night, AWF Ringgold, Georgia. I'm going to stop in, say hello to those guys real quick. And then next week, we head to one of our old favorites, Brew City Wrestling, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, for the great Frank. That'll be a lot of fun on August 22nd.
Is it Frank DeFalco?
Frank DeFalco. So we're there. We get some other stuff that weekend that we're not talking about yet. And then we go onward. We finish out the month of August. West Side Gun Day, Buffalo, New York, Fourth Rope Wrestling. If you're sleeping on this, don't. It's going to be amazing. The card there is insane. I don't know how much I can talk about, but it'll be coming out in the next few days and weeks. Big show there, West Side Gun Day, Buffalo, New York. Smoke Dizzle will be there, Enzo will be there, all your favorite Fourth Row people. And then we get on a plane, and we head way south to Bayamon, Puerto Rico, to one of our favorite wrestling partners, WWC, their biggest show of the year, Anniversario. You've got Del Rio will be down there. Matt Hardy will be down there. The Good Brothers will be down there. They got a star-studded card, too. I don't have it in front of me, but we got a great – the month of August is packed, and the month of September is packed. The month of October is packed. The month of November is packed. And yesterday people said, well, can you take these December bookings? And I said, give me a second, guys. We'll work on it.
So I wanted to hear about Americus, Georgia. And Big LG is such a promoter. He just went on from Americus to Dublin to this week to next weekend to the next weekend, finished out the whole entire month. But I realized why. It's not just because you're a great promoter. I realized why. I know why. And I don't know if the fans know this yet or not, because we were discussing before we came on live on the air. You were having some issues with your audio, etc. And then you said, listen, I can't hear you in my headphones, but I can hear myself. And so I noticed as soon as he started talking, you see that he starts to go into this trance of, well, that's a
oh, it cheered me right up. Got me out of my foul mood from all these motherfucking technical difficulties we have every time we do this.
Look, you see what I'm saying? That's a melody. That's a melody right there. It's my own voice, man.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I go to sleep to it. I wake up to it.
He just starts singing himself a little lullaby, man.
Yeah, pro wrestling lullaby, baby.
Guys, today we have to talk all things Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, whichever way you know him, and we're going to get to him in just a second, because he's huge news. Whether you love him, whether you hate him, whether you like his character, don't like his character, or whatever it is, you can't deny the fact that he's right now polarizing. He's a polarizing figure in the wrestling business. I just see it wherever I turn on. If I open up Instagram, bam. If I open up Twitter or X, bam. Even people when
you're on one of your Reddit blogs that you're on all night.
Yeah, I don't read the Reddit blog for some reason. I'll tell you this: for some reason,
I don't know how to read a Reddit blog.
We're not liked on Reddit, from what I hear through via our Patreon, Talking Shop / patreon.com / Shop. But I'll tell you why I do like Reddit. I invested in Reddit, and boy, that stock has flown.
Good return on Reddit. I haven't even seen Reddit on there. I know we're not liked on Reddit, but Reddit is, from what I hear, and I don't know a ton about Reddit, it's the most finicky of all the places you can go and talk shit about people.
I shouldn't say that with that word.
A treasure trove of burials of everybody.
Everyone's not liked somewhere. I shouldn't say that we're not liked on Reddit. I'm just saying
they don't like me down at the post office.
You're gonna find bits and pieces of people hating everywhere. But the thing is I did want to deep dive on Americus, Georgia, or not deep dive, small dive. Americus, Georgia is we had to run. So now we book and run our own quote unquote TV show. And we have it, and it is on Roku, STGN 49 out of Atlanta. And we did sign an awesome deal with Triller TV plus Triller TV in general. And Lariato Pro, Talking Shop presents Lariato Pro, our 30-minute reality wrestling show is going to be on every 2 weeks on Saturday on Triller Plus. And Talking Shop, our podcast, this right here, will be on Triller TV on the free tier on the front of the website, along with our YouTube. I mean, we got a lot going on, and we ran our television taping in Americus, Georgia. And I wanted to ask you, how did you find Americus, Georgia? Because it felt very Georgetown, Kentucky, Glennsboro, Kentucky-ish. And when we rolled into that area, it felt like we knew exactly where we were coming from and how amazing it is.
Yeah, and if we heard it when we got into town. We came into town early. Um, they hadn't had even independent wrestling there in over 10 years. I don't think it did great when it was there before, from what we were hearing. Um, but before that, there were a couple of businesses, great businesses that jumped on board and sponsored us. But we were at one in particular saying hello to the sponsors. It was called the Fish House in Americus. And it's got a seafood restaurant and a seafood market there. But he was telling me that he remembered seeing Andre the Giant at the Armory. He remembered seeing Tommy Rich at the Armory. He remembered seeing Dusty Rhodes at the Armory. Um, Deep in Georgia, they always bring up Mr. Wrestling #2 was a big deal down here. So that's the wrestling they remembered. And they were like, you guys need to go to the Armory over by the fairgrounds next time, yada, yada, yada. But they were excited that wrestling was in town. But it was, we're running into those things that happen when you're running a real wrestling promotion. And what it was we couldn't have our full production crew on our Saturday night in Dublin, Georgia, where we shot the last TV. So we need TV, we need content. What do we do? And I try not to step on toes because there's professional wrestling all over Georgia. So a lot of these little towns, boroughs, sectors of Georgia have something somewhere. You don't want to just come in and go, "Oh, the Good Brothers are taking over." We're trying to beat their reputation. But Americus was a town. They said it's small, but go in and try it. And we went in and tried it, and it's one of those places where it's a little bit of a time capsule. Not like we say Puerto Rico is a time capsule, but it's a time capsule. We're in with like Americus, Georgia. These aren't people that are going up to the paper they see around town and necessarily grabbing the QR code to buy tickets. I don't think a lot of people in Americus have ordered off a menu that has a QR code on it per se. But they know wrestling's in town, and they will walk up and they will buy a ticket and they will come in and they will cheer for the good guy and they will boo the bad guy. And we ended up, what started out thinking this could be a bit of a negative turned into a massive positive. We had a great show. The people who were there had a great time. The fire chief came up and said, "Please come back. I want to help promote this, help this thing grow." And we looked at it as a big win. We had Eddie Colon with us, from WWC. Primo Colon was there. Had a lot of great young talent there. Chase Emery, a kid that we have our eye on as promoters. You were in the ring with him. So I thought it was a great night. I thought it was a great night of taping, and we're already planning when to make the return there because that's a town I think we can build. And that goes back to old school promoting. But I'm excited to go back to Americas. We're looking at dates right now.
And what a talent Chase Emery is, nobody knows who he is, and
No.
and they're going to find out real soon. I would be as remiss to say as within the next 5 years or so, I think he'll be a really, really, really big star. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's a D1 wrestler,
Division I wrestler. He was a high school state champion. And it's funny when you're doing this and you're booking new people, because we immediately saw him and we go, "Oh, that kid might have something." Then we watched him work. Oh, he probably has something. Okay, he needs to work on a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But just to pull the curtain back, we got text messages from John Schuyler at TNA asking how Chase did. We got text messages from the great Dax Hardwood from FTR,
yeah,
asking how the match with Chase was, who said, "I've never met Chase, but I've seen him and I'm impressed by him. How was he?" So when you got these people around the business with their eyes on a kid like that, there's something special there. So I thought that was really cool. And then my Facebook is just terrible. I'm logged out of about 6 Facebooks. So if you're trying to get me on Facebook, just email me for business.
Forget it.
I don't know. But one of them was working. And I had a promoter I worked for like 15 years ago. "Hey, how did Chase do? Here's my background with him. The kid's great." So it was like 3 references of people that, I respected their opinion around the business that saw the same thing. So that made me think we have our eye on the right kid.
Well, and after I saw him wrestle in Dublin, Georgia, we were booking our next, when we ended up, we didn't know it was going to be in Dublin or Americus. The Americus just kind of fell into our laps. But
yeah,
we were booking it. I said, "Hey, let me have Chase Emery right out the gate,
yeah,
first match." And at first, I even asked for 20 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess I could have done 20 minutes. It's my show. It's our show, right? Like,
Could have done whatever you wanted and we would have formatted it, of course. Yeah, it's whatever we want.
and I will say I could have gone 20 minutes with him, and but
Sure.
when you get people that have been doing this for a long time requesting to work with you, and I would work with him again, man. He what a bright future. If you never heard of him, seen him, look up Chase Emery. Also, we wanted to say, listen, we're official partners with WWC out of Puerto Rico, right?
Oh yeah, they don't know it yet, but we're official partners with them.
Well, I think they know it now. We
No, I
told,
know. We told Eddie that we just said it, so he said great.
yeah,
But yeah, I thought that show was great. Another got to give some kudos to Dax Anthony too. I've been impressed with him 2 shows in a row. He had a good match with Eddie Colon Primo. So there were a lot of bright spots on both of those shows. I thought, if you watched episode 1 of our show, the ugly duckling,
yeah.
Rob Killjoy, who had a little heat with us. For go back and watch episode 1. It's on STGN 49. It's on Triller TV. It's now on the Talkin' Shop YouTube. It's available there. We haven't promoted that much. We're going to drop those there a week later. So if you don't see those in their platform, they'll be there. But you can see what's leading up to the frustration with him. But I can already tell you, looking into the future, in my eyes, he's kicked out. 2 great performances, I thought. You got to give the guy a little credit.
Yeah, and at the merch table, he sets up his merch table and he quacks with a Jimmy Hart
With a megaphone. I kind of want to shove it up his ass, but then it started to grow on me in the middle of the night too.
What would Fink tell him to do with that microphone or a megaphone?
I'd like for you to stick that microphone straight up your asshole.
Hey, he goes, stop by the merch table, quack. Stop by the merch table, quack.
He does do live quacking.
Yeah, and like, listen, it was funny at first.
It's different, but at the end of the night, when you're trying to get everything done, and it's like, all right, why don't you go quack off, pal?
But more power to him, because when I came up in the business, right, Roger Ruffin was one of the greatest trainers. I think anybody that starts out in the wrestling business should go to Roger Ruffin in the Northern Wrestling Federation in Cincinnati, Ohio, because if you want to learn down to the bone basics in pro wrestling, I think Roger Ruffin is the way to go. But those guys there did not push or hammer into my brain selling merchandise and selling pictures and trying to get out to the merch table. So even to the point where ended up going to PWG, and I would see guys like the top guys then in 2006 and 2007, Chris Hero, Claudio, the other guys, etc., would be selling their shirts at intermission and really hawking them and talking about their merch sales. And I just felt so uncomfortable with the thought of that. Because I just wasn't taught really that way. And then when I went to New Japan Pro Wrestling, there was no merch talk, and I was so busy. I was so busy over there that I wasn't able to do much indies. Then the big LG comes in my life and taught me a lot about it. But there's like you've even said with like Ricky Morton, with George South, we see now. I mean, there was a joke. It was a joke between us where Ricky Morton said, "This right here pays the light bills," but that merch table is a legitimate cash flow.
Yeah, I mean, I came up that way through like the West Virginia and Carolina Indies and just watching those guys and learning from them. And that's why people laugh and go, Gallows brought the store, but we bring the Good Brothers stuff, and that way, we're not hawking it like we need to pay the light bill per se. But if people want the stuff, it's there, it's available, and it's fun to meet the fans and stuff. But for somebody, some of those guys who are newer to the scene, it sure makes the ride home a lot easier when you got a pocket full of cash. So
yeah. Well, we did some pictures in the ring afterwards, and BBJ and Primo were like, "Hey, it's a little."
It's nice to walk up to people at the end of 2 nights and go, "Hey, here's a bonus," and it's not for falling down more. It's for standing there and get your picture taken. People like that.
Yes. And Talking Shop, guys, again, you can hear us live on Triller Plus, Triller TV, Roku, STGN 49. A week after they drop on those 2 platforms, you're going to see us on our YouTube Talking Shop podcasts on all podcast platforms. And, people have been requesting for us to talk more wrestling. And we've just avoided it. And we're just like, we'll talk a little wrestling when we feel like it. We'll talk a little wrestling here and there. And it's like, you know what? This just felt like the right time to do it, because I just literally opened up X, and 2 days ago, I see this. And it's a tweet from Kevin from Killer Kross. It says, it's at Real Killer Kross, right? It says, I can't thank you all enough. I hope to see you all in the chat. I'll be there. See you in 30 minutes. And I said, what the hell does that mean? And I don't really know. And so I text our great balls deep Billy Emilio, and I say, what is this? Is Kross done? Is he re-signed with WWE? Because it's been the talk of everything, right?
Sure.
On wrestling. And I'll say he's done a really good job at keeping it at the forefront as well.
Keeping his name in the forefront. Yeah, that's what you have to do.
Yeah. And Emilio said, I think he's done, guys. And then I saw a tweet 2 days ago again from Scarlett, his wife, who's a good sister who we like, and we did that ghost hunt with. She said, my time in WWE, she quotes at Lady Scarlett, at Lady_Scarlett, my time in WWE has been an incredible ride. I can truly say it's been the best locker room I've ever been a part of. These people aren't just coworkers, they're family. I have something to say about that. I love you all, and I'll deeply miss seeing you every week. To the fans, you've never just been a crowd. You've been our partners in every fight, and the reason we give everything for this. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. The next chapter starts now, and I'm ready to bring something unforgettable to any stage, anywhere in the world. If you want the smoke show on your show, let's make it happen. And then gives an email for booking and appearances, which is Real Scarlett Bordet at yahoo.com. And in February 23rd, 2025, at Killer Kross wrote this. So just this year, he tweets this on X. I'd be lying if I said I haven't felt a major shift in the way a lot of fans feel towards me over the last year, more so recently. Just putting it out there that I see you and I appreciate you. So I remember seeing that tweet and going, what the fuck's he talking about, right? But see, at that point, I was
checked out.
I was checked out because I'd been, we'd been released from the WWE, 2 weeks, just 2 weeks prior. And obviously, I was, just 3 months removed from a major surgery, and then get a call that we're not with WWE anymore.
And they fired you when you weren't medically cleared.
Yeah. So and I'm thinking,
we're cheering for the Kevin Crosses, but we're not cheering for WWE.
Yeah. So I'm not even cleared. So I don't have any idea or care what's going on. But I remember seeing that and thinking, is that what's going on? Is he starting to get hot? Is he getting hot? And clearly he's getting hot. And
he's getting hot, but he's getting hot. He's getting hot with it reminds me of the Broski thing. 50.
Well, do you remember this in February-ish, him starting to heat up?
Well, yeah, but I also remember it was kind of built off of his own momentum, because he was doing he was working main event during that time, or not working at all, but it was like his own movement that came through him and the internet and getting his stuff out there, and his book came out and all that. But I want to back up, because another thing that we glazed over that we haven't talked about, now that we're back talking about wrestling, you can't get into this Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, our friend Kevin, you cannot get into this talk and not bring up what I'm going to call it an incident. You cannot bring up, and everybody else has talked about it, but we have to weigh in on this if we're going to talk about Kevin. The R-Truth shit. R-Truth gets released, or his contract's finished. Thank you, see you, goodbye. And it's a weird thing, because it's like these fans who were kids who come up and say they grew up watching us, or they're grown now, and they do have a voice. And there's a voice through X, and there's a voice through Instagram, there's a voice through TikTok, and they can be heard. And there was this groundswell for Ronnie Killings to be brought back, and then they basically went, oh, we were winking at you. He wasn't really going to be gone. That was just to get you guys excited. Then I don't know what, hopefully they wrote him a massive, massive, massive check, and they brought him right back into the fold and said, we were just kidding. They do a heel turn. We haven't necessarily been watching, but from what I've been told, John Cena turns back babyface on the retirement tour last week or the week before on SmackDown, and they just said, okay, Ron Killens, this heel who shaved his dreadlocks off, is now just again R-Truth, and he's a good guy. And a lot of fans were going, a lot of the fans that are kind of more, want to be in the know, we're going, what the fuck is this? So it's very interesting to see this. We talk about corporate wrestling, and it's interesting to see the spin that corporate wrestling can put on just about anything. Because let's be honest, if they pulled up here right now and we were both sitting here and feeling the way that we feel, they go, here's $10 million for you, here's $10 million for you. We go, well, can we still podcast and have Lariato? Okay, we'll take the $10 million. We probably would. We hate to think that, but we probably would. And you end up and you go back and you go, okay, it's fine. It's right. It's what corporate America is. It makes sense, but it's very different, the shift into this corporate mode, because anything can be swept under the rug. Kross could run out at the Royal Rumble and go, here I am. I won the Royal Rumble, and then he's off to WrestleMania. Or he could be fighting for the Lariato Pro Championship, and I hope both things. So,
Well, so you just deep dove on a couple things then, I guess. So that takes me to
I get a little wordy.
Yeah. Well, you can hear your own voice. I get it. Yeah,
exactly.
You have your.
I didn't plug my webcam in. I was having all these troubles because I forgot to do that. Weird.
Did you? Is it in now?
No, I was afraid I'd ruin the podcast.
Don't put it in now.
Once we're done recording, I'll plug it in.
We'll figure it out now. Well, that takes me back. That reminds me. That takes me back. Then and we'll get to Karrion Kross if it's real or not real, or a work or a shoot or whatever. And we're not in the privilege of knowing.
Yeah, trust me, we don't know.
And I think we talked about it. We've talked about it, previous. A lot of people forget that when we do a talking shop, we check out of it completely and forget what we talked about and have no idea what we talked about at all. So I don't know. I can't remember if we talked about what we thought was Ronnie, if Ronnie was a work or not a work.
I think we touched really briefly on it.
Briefly.
I think you weren't up on it, and I kind of knew what I was seeing on X, and that was about it.
Yeah.
But the Ronnie thing just, and you still don't 100% know. Everybody in the whole business has an opinion. That's why there's so many of these podcasts.
Yeah.
But
we got to talk.
Clearly, they were done with his ass.
Well,
which is absurd because he's one of the greatest characters and best dudes ever, but they're done with him. And then they went, oh, come on, guys, we're just kidding. We worked you. It's all fake.
Well,
right?
You got to be careful with what's real and what's not. And we don't really know, right? And that's an opinion of what we think it was. It was like when people, when people thought I stole the never openweight championship and I was being serious about it, right? And they
thought that you were there to screw over New Japan and you didn't love wrestling.
I got some serious
bad guy. Yeah, it was. There's so many ways a narrative can be spun, and sometimes the fans really don't know. It was like the Bright Lights promo years ago.
Yeah,
I only do this under the bright lights, and then you had this the Redditors and those types of people who. We would just see the comments popping up and be added like, F those guys. They don't love wrestling. They only want to be on a big show. They only want big money. And we're going, whoa. It's okay for anybody else in the business to cut a promo, but not us, not Machine Gun.
Yeah, it's a bit. I always thought I was one of the leaders of talking shit, especially in the
of blending reality and what's real and what's not. Yeah, that's kind of what the whole Bullet Club movement was, guys, and that's why all this is the way that it is today. A lot of
it. But that takes me back though. So, do you have a history with Kross? Because I didn't know him at all, and I'll say this now. He's a friend of ours, and
yes, he is.
And that was only built this last time that we came back to WWE. We came back to WWE together. And so we were kind of already felt like outcasts because we were kind of all brought back in this Triple H taking over when he took back over and then he lost control again to Vince, whatever it was. But we all came back around that same time. And it was a very different WWE. And I'll say it was a little weird. It just was a little awkward, a little different than what we expected. And so we kind of gravitated towards each other, and we had a lot of great personal talks with Kevin, and it was like, shit, this guy's, we actually get along well, and to the point where he even called and left me a voicemail when the news broke that we were released
Yeah,
from
I had a
WWE.
30-minute conversation with him.
Yeah, you had a conversation with him. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I almost changed my phone number, but
right.
But we even text, and we've kept in contact. But do you have a history with him before this at all?
So this is super interesting, and he wouldn't mind me saying this. I knew of him, and I knew of his work outside of WWE. What I did not remember was when we were both younger, I met him in Japan, not working for New Japan Pro Wrestling. So very early on in me coming, when there was IGF or Noah, I think it was actually IGF. So this would have been like one of his first times, going overseas, if memory serves. But he said that, I was really cool to him and gave him some good advice about working in Japan or whatever. But I just always, once we got to WWE, I respect the hustle of people who are outside of WWE anyway and have a name coming in. And he did have a bit of a name. No, he did. He had a name coming in, and Scarlett had a name coming in.
Yeah.
And getting that opportunity to come in together. But I just respected the fact that they had such a good hustle. And they were trying to make things happen inside of WWE when maybe the WWE brass, as we know, when they don't want to do something with you. I mean, you were talking about an incredible uphill battle. And then you have to look within yourself and go, do I want to fight this political shitstorm or do I not? And that's where you and I have differed on things over the years, where there have been times when we go, we've done all this outside of here, and we get mad and throw the towel in sometimes. They were going to keep swinging. At that office, we just had the opinion after what we've been through that sometimes that doesn't always work, no matter how hard you swing or the momentum you get. But maybe that brings us to what we're talking about right now, because inside of there, he's had a couple of matches with Sami Zayn. They had a pay-per-view match, I do know that. But before that, he was doing stuff like on main event. So it seems to me like it was a short angle, a short build. They do the pay-per-view match, and maybe that was to appease these fans if this isn't a work. And then it's like, hey, see you later. Because, what we heard from Emilio is now public knowledge that he was offered a deal. He wanted to ask some questions.
This is public knowledge?
This is public knowledge. They did not
Are you sure?
communicate, apparently. And then the offer is rescinded 24 hours later. So.
Really?
That's yeah. And I wouldn't have said that unless I read it, because I was trying to look around last night and I did read that. It is out there. So that's interesting too, if that is true.
Sure. I'll give my opinion on that in a little bit.
Okay.
But please continue. This is interesting stuff. But.
No, that's literally all I have on it, is that if all this is to be believed, there's a deal on the table. I have some questions and some things I want to clear up, and I'm sure that we don't know. Was it creative? Was it travel? Was it, who knows what in the hell it was? Can I do my outside stuff? He just wrote this book that's come out. I'm sure the book's great. He obviously has a platform, which we didn't research, but I'm sure maybe someday we can have him on here and talk about that, where he talks to his fans. And you want to know, it's like us. Like we've made this agreement that we don't really want to go anywhere inside a contract if we have to lose our other stuff again, which we've made that mistake before, and people don't want to do that. And that's understandable, especially in this new age of 2025, where you have a real connection with your people and you have a platform to talk to them without having to be on TV with a microphone every week. So I have no idea what the questions he had were, but if that's true and he had some questions and they said, you got 24 hours to sign this or don't, and then it gets yanked, that's interesting too. Because do they want you to have a voice? Do they not want you to have a voice? We can go round and round about that.
Well, it's fun to talk about, because I remember one time I was sitting with Bailey in an airport, and we were just talking contract stuff. And I said, this is the kind of stuff that gets me really excited, because, you and I, Gallows and Anderson, again, love us or hate us, we've been involved in some really awesome, fun, times when we've been in the middle of contract discussions, and those can be let me say they're stressful, but they're
stressful, but they're so damned interesting,
and they're interesting, especially when you have a really key word in this, which is, if you don't have any of this, which I didn't have sometimes back when I first started, But when you have this, the game changes completely when you have leverage, any kind of leverage. And that's, that is when the game really, the game gets fun. And then
No, you're saying it the right way. The game.
Well, that's when the game gets really fun. I want to go back to something that you said, which I liked what you said. You said how the political shitstorm and some people want to swing inside there, and we think that Killer Kross is swinging, as in like, he's tweeting a lot. He's posting on X, he's posting on Instagram. He's doing his own videos. He's clearly has his own content creators. He's going on interviews and he's talking shit, right?
Yeah.
And then you said that we didn't, and maybe we thought that we just kind of threw in the towel, and I agree. I think we did try. We tried a million different.
Right.
We tried a million different avenues, though. Like we tried meetings here. We tried talking to writers. We tried talking to Hunter. We went to Vince a couple times. I mean, if we're going way back, but we fought a lot. We fought a lot, and I felt like we did throw in the towel in that sense. We stopped. We didn't know who else to talk to because we had so many people battling us, right? But I think
we had too many enemies.
Yeah. But I think we swang quietly though, because we fought really hard this last time to get our podcast back, and that was why, right? What for? And people could say, and I'm sure that inside Stanford, inside the WWE headquarters, they're thinking, why the fuck do these guys want this podcast back? And
who gives a shit if they do have it? Who's going to listen to it? Whatever they may say, yeah.
And they kept telling us, well, we got to run it up the ladder, and they were awesome. They talked.
Yeah, they ran it straight up my pole.
Yeah, they spoke. Yeah, they ran it up your pole. They spoke with us. They had it. They had it. They literally ran it up the ladder of the chain of command, and it took us a couple months to get it back, but we kept going back to TR and to talent relations and asking for it. So we wanted it. So we really fought for Talking Shop while we were inside WWE, and we were hoping that was going to give us something, as in just showing that we can sit here and we can do this and we can talk wrestling. We have a lot of fucking experience in this business.
A lot of experience and a lot of opinion.
So that was kind of our hope, was like maybe they can at least see this and fucking give us a spot here or give us a Talking Shop.
Yeah, maybe it's
room. So we were battling. We were quietly throwing lefts and rights.
He even said, completely repackage us and give us a new challenge, and we'll take it. And that could have been. They could have had a lot of fun with us if they wanted to really screw with us, but we didn't even get to experience that. So when you get to that point, it's like they're not going to give us anything. Like, damn. But and that's what it goes back to, fighting for Talking Shop and the outside stuff. So that is where Kross and Scarlett are really smart. Because they do have a platform, they do have a voice, and obviously the people are listening. I don't know if you heard the great Bubba Ray Dudley, his opinion on that. Did you hear what he had to say last week?
I didn't hear it. Let me hear it.
So I saw this on X, and he went public, and his show, they're all over the place. But I'm sure he said it on the show, but I saw a snippet of it on I believe X, and he said, if I'm Killer Kross and Scarlett, and I am, this is real, okay? This contract didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I want to hear what you think about this, because this is a wild opinion, and it goes against a lot of the principles of Gallows and Anderson.
I've got an opinion on it, but let me hear.
So his idea for them, and said what they should do is rally their following. Their X followers, their whatever, their blog followers, their Instagram followers, their TikTok followers, all these followers, and have a campaign, and they fly to where Raw's at every week, and they have basically a tailgate party rally outside of Raw, and you have a petition, and you have the fans signing a petition. And I started thinking, what a wild ass idea. And at first I hated it, and then I thought that I loved it, and then I thought of, like, remember AEW and WWE in Ontario? And they were like, if you go outside and engage, and this was when Cody Rhodes is on the outside, the Bucks live in Ontario, California. If you go out and engage with those guys, you get fired. And I believe Jimmy Jacobs went out and hugged one of them, and then he ends up fired from that. So I don't know. That could work for you, but in this day and age, I could see in corporate WWE land, okay, Kross, you got 100,000 petitions. Come on back in. But then how are they going to treat you once you get back inside?
That's where, and again, I think we just want to try to speak truth on this podcast because at least from our experiences,
We're like the Truth Commission.
We've worked for every promotion. We obviously are not cucked out by anybody.
No, we're not cucked. That's for sure.
It's just we're open to everybody's ideas and this and that. I would just say, do they like? In my opinion, Karl Anderson's opinion, they don't. I don't know if they loved the fact that we came in, very confident in our abilities with the Bullet Club, with what we did, what we were, and who we were, and we were made on the outside there, So we were never really felt like their guys.
Right.
I had a loud voice in Bullet Club and in Japan, and I kind of had that still with like the social media when we came there, and I don't know how well they like guys that are made outside or help themselves get over, via look at Broski. They never did they ever love Broski? I don't know,
No, they didn't.
And look how good he's doing. And he's all
internet title he created, and then they put him in a wheelchair, and Kane pushed him off the stage to kill him. I mean, that's going back 15 years, or you're going into maybe a different regime there, but you see it play out over history, and you even see it, play out with what they're doing now. Like that WWE Untold show is complete scripted reality as well, because, and it makes sense. You're that big, you're in control of everything, so you control everything that's put out there. You don't want these guys that are supposed to be over here in the mid card in your mind to be making all this noise outside, because fuck them. This is a story, and this is what we want the fans to be focusing on, not these guys. That I think that's always kind of been the case.
Yeah. So to Bubba's point, and to Bubba's point, that's a great idea.
It is.
If it's real, and if Kevin's dream is to continue working for the WWE, then that's a great idea. But then, as a man that's been there and been released a couple times,
right,
and someone that's got a lot of confidence in himself on the outside, if it's real, I wouldn't do that, only because I would just feel like I was begging for something else. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong either. I'm not saying it's right. In my opinion, but if it's real and that's something that he wants to do, of course he could. But I think that what they would do is end up getting security and like wanting to fucking have Killer Kross not allowed at any of these buildings, and that would be real. I mean, they would.
Okay, that's option one. That's option one. So let's take it a step further. They try to blend the reality right now. Say Karl Anderson doesn't necessarily have the history of the Bullet Club, and you're in his shoes, and that's what you want to do. And security, they play along with it for a minute, and you do get 100,000 signatures, and they do go, you know what? Here's the deal back. Come on back inside. My fear would be this. Now they know you've done that, and after month one, because you're going to be the shiny new toy on Raw, but after month one, then after whatever big match you do, and you probably lose, like, where do we go from there? What happens next?
All right, listen, I've had enough. All right, so let me tell you this. So, I don't know anything. All right. We are beyond we don't know anything whatsoever.
That's why it's fun to talk about.
Exactly. And that's what this whole thing is now. I see people talking about it, and I think, what's he doing talking about this? Then I see, people that you got to have a little bit of, you got to have a little bit of experience.
Gusto.
A little experience to be able to honestly talk. Bubba has been in every promotion.
Bubba's been in every scenario too, because Bubba has been a top guy in every promotion. He's rocked the boat in most promotions, and he's still over. So that's a guy to listen to.
He can talk about he can talk about whatever the fuck he wants to talk about, because he's a legend in the wrestling business. But I got to say this: if we're gonna go into it, again, we don't have any idea about anything, but I heard Paul Heyman on Ariel Helwani. Is that his name? Mm-hmm. He's the one that's kind of been jumping into. He used to be a MMA reporter or whatever. And he does some wrestling interviews. But I heard Paul Heyman on there.
He interviewed us before.
He did?
Yeah, you just don't remember it.
I mean, because he's really over now. We should hop back on that again.
I don't know if that wagon's still open.
That's allowed.
A lot of enemies.
No, I think
I don't know who's paying him either.
you don't know who's being paid, who's paying who's. I think because Sam Roberts, we've lost him completely to the WWE. It's like, oh
hey,
man,
you know what?
good for him though. As long as everyone's getting paid.
Yeah, I want him.
So I heard Paul Heyman on the podcast, and he said, or the show, and he compared Killer Kross to Stone Cold and Stone Cold's rise, right? And how talented he was, and how talented Scarlett was. And listen, Paul's in there with Paul Levesque. I mean, he's there. They're like the creative everything. And he talked about Kross's rise so much. I was like, this is a little crazy, because I did see that clip. And so that's why I believe this entire thing, and I might take a little bit of backlash for this, but fuck,
does it work?
I don't care. I think it's clearly a work. I can't imagine they would allow him to go out right now. Because if he left right now, bro, come on. This is ridiculous that I think it's ridiculous that we're even having this conversation, because Kevin is such a smart guy. He won't get, I don't care. He didn't tell me anything. We've texted and we're just buddies. He is such a smart guy. This would be his 100% idea to do. And it would be the most amazing angle of all time.
It would be the most amazing angle of all time. Counterpoint to it, if it is, and the Paul thing is a great, strong argument about it. I hadn't heard that. That's a great, strong argument for it.
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
The only other out I see on the Heyman thing is Heyman is such a worker. The biggest
worker
in the history of the whole business. He may have just said that because there were all these flowers being thrown on Kevin if it wasn't a work. But that does point to it 100% being a work. So I've flipped 3 times during this.
It's interesting to see just this podcast?
Yeah.
Well, let's just say this. Listen, I know this much. Here's the realities of this whole situation. We just wanted to talk about this. We wanted to get out there quick. We have a little bit of opinions on it. Kevin is beyond talented. Here's the deal. If WWE truly let him go, we're seeing right now. We're not with AEW. We're not with TNA.
Right.
We're not flying over. We're not full-time anywhere.
Yeah.
We are very, very busy and taken care of. And my point being, Kevin is coming off of obviously great support. He just got 700,000 views on his part 1 of his documentary that he had.
Oh yeah, he'll be hot as fire on the outside. Are they going to allow that to happen, or will they bring?
Dude, the amount. So let's just say he's gone. He is free. He's going to make so much money. And if it's a work, they should let him go and do a round of indies for like 2 weeks. Of course, that's why this is a work, because they're going to.
That's how you solidify it. That'd be brilliant.
Yeah. He's going to be the one to do it properly, right? Like when the Punk thing back in the day, when he was only gone a week because Vince just put him back on there in a week because it's a television show, right?
Right.
But like Kevin's such a smart. Killer Kross is a smart, insanely smart human being. He's going to be. This is the kind of angle he wants, and I'm not trying to blow his cover because I don't know anything. I'm just giving an opinion because that's what I am now, fucking broadcast journalist. This and even he might even say, of course it's not a work. Here's my booking. I'm coming to do this. If it is, then the amount of money he'll make, and this is going to be a great angle, and this is only going to help him get more over to where he wants to be and where he's going to end up being.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. So what's your opinion? What's your final opinion on it?
My final opinion on it. Well, you threw me a curveball at the end.
I know, because I'm a great broadcast journalist. Thriller Plus TV.
I'll tell you, this is my final opinion on it. This is a very political answer from a non-political man. Whatever happens next is going to be nothing but positive for him, at least for the short term. Either way.
Oh, exactly.
And if you can keep those fans with you, either way, you're going to be over. Anywhere you go, whether it be WrestleMania, whether it be the Tokyo Dome, whether it be the Forbidden Door, whether it be Lariato Pro, whether it be running these hot indies, anywhere you go, you're going to be over.
You know, it's like if we could have just, it was a very different time, and we tried. But when I was and we definitely tried. Trust me, guys, we tried. When I was the never open weight champion, there could have been so much stuff we could have done. But when you're sometimes when you're just not a chosen one, and I don't mean that in a way because you can fight through all the walls. I'm not trying to say anything. I'm just saying, but when you're just not one of their guys, you're just not one of their guys.
Just not one of their guys.
No matter what. Let me get to an email, guys, real quick. Last, and we'll wind down. That was a fun talk.
It was.
This is from one of the great ones. He has guest hosted Talking Shop before. Emerson Pendergrass says, "What's up, Hoots?"
Hey, Emerson.
I could probably just text you because you're my boys, but my opinion. But I thought I'd save it for the pod. I think WWE dropped the ball on letting Kross go, but hey, they're good at dropping the ball on tons of talent. I honestly think he could have had a Cody Rhodes or Drew McIntyre-like story where he leaves and becomes a bigger star at whichever promotion he decides to join on or in the indies. Let's be honest, I don't know how it feels for a wrestler because I'm sure stepping through the curtain in front of 15,000 fans is next level adrenaline, but the indies are where it's at, especially for the fans. Anyone who hasn't experienced a good indie show is missing out. While I'm at it, cheap plug, Lariato Pro, the LPWG.com. The indies are awesome. It's more of an up-close, intimate setting. Now, let's get Kross to a Lariato show. Hashtag we want Kross. Big LG, I'll see you Saturday, brother. Machine Gun, go change the baby's diapers before you get heat with Teeny. JK, brother, love you, Hoots. Great email.
Great email from the great Emerson.
I mean, I think we covered all that. And I even wanted Balls Deep Billy on here because he has a close personal relationship with Kevin, and I wanted to kind of chat about it.
He's too tired for that.
And again, though, Scarlett and Kevin have obviously something that has
they're
captured.
Stars.
It's exactly, and
they're superstars, and they're going to be superstars. So the good thing about this is, on a personal level, we're both personal fans of both of them, and we know that they're going to end up doing great. No matter what happens. So I wish them the best in whatever this, I hate this word, endeavor.
Well, and dude, if this is a work or a shoot, it still means you get to come out and do things. So
it's positive.
So if it's a work, then just come do Lariato for a brother price.
If it's a work, come do Lariato, please.
If it's a shoot, come do Lariato. Come do Lariato for a brother price. No matter what you do, come to Lariato for a brother price. We'll get you hot.
Exactly. That's the name of the game, guys. If you're out there and you're a hot pro wrestler, hashtag come to Lariato for a brother price.
Guys, we were talking with the CEO of Triller TV. We just found out today that Adam was not the CEO.
No, he is in my eyes.
Yeah, he
Adam
is.
Bigwood.
We're trying.
Adam Bigwood, great name.
Yeah, we're trying to get Adam Bigwood of Triller TV a little pay bump. You know what I mean?
I think he's going to get a huge one.
Yeah, he is. And then, hey, Adam, just bring us along for the ride on the private jet.
Come on, good brother.
Hey, for Triller TV, make sure you sign up for Triller TV Plus. It's where you can find the boys' Roku channel, STGN 49. You can always go to our YouTube Talking Shop. Follow me on X, Machine Gun KA, Instagram, Machine Gun KA, TikTok, Karl Anderson 24, Big LG. You can find him all over all the social platforms. For Balls Deep Billy. And if you get a chance, please email us, talkingshopgoodbrothers@gmail.com. LG, anything to close out?
No, come see the boys on the road. If you heard my August rap at the beginning of the podcast, we are everywhere. I'll do it again because it's fun. Outlaw Pro Wrestling. Well, I don't know when this thing will drop, but that will be tomorrow night, which is Thursday, August the 14th. Our Lady of Mount Carmel in Brooklyn, New York. Friday at noon, K&S WrestleFest on Facebook, virtual signing. We're signing all things, Good Brothers, all things, Bullet Club. Maybe forging some stuff for other guys. I don't really know yet. Yeah. Saturday, I will be at the Flip Trade Show in Dalton, Georgia. Saturday night, Ringgold, Georgia at AWAF, man. And I'm not going to go any further than this weekend because you said I get a little long-winded, so that's fine. But if you're back here next week, I'll keep telling you everywhere we're going to be. I got the entire schedule.
You can hear your voice. There's always trouble.
It's beautiful.
There's always trouble brewing when he can hear his own voice. It doesn't even matter if his fucking mic works or not. As long as he can hear his voice, it's all.
I forgot to plug my webcam in. so I don't even know if any of this is being heard.
I don't. It's being recorded, and you can hear you. I'm not sure the mic is all the way in, but it doesn't.
Good.
But we can hear your words. Is all that matters.
Wonderful.
Can Fink close us out in a talking shop fashion?
For the machine gun, Karl Anderson. For the sexiest big man alive, the big LG Tuck Gallows. Thank you. There are good fans. There are great fans. But the very best fans listen to Tuck and Show.
The great Fink from heaven. We love you, brother. Big LG for the machine gun. Catch us on Chiller Plus TV. Thanks, guys. We're fucking out of here.
Love big _LG.